Torchlight flickers cut through the trees like restless spirits. The mob's jeers echo like a pack of scavengers circling fresh prey, cruel, hungry, and eager to revel in suffering. They close in on their victim with the same merciless glee a predator shows after a hunt. His name is Uzumaki Naruto. He has no kin, no warmth, no one to defend him. Tonight the orphanage that tormented him finally cast him out. He only knows how old he is because he was told he was born on the night the fox demon struck the village. 7 years passed. The freckled, red-headed child lies barely clinging to breath. Blood fills his throat, his limbs refuse him. They abandoned him to the woods and its wild things. He feels them circling as the crowd disperses, hears the low growls, sees hungry eyes gleaming in the dark. They close in. He lets his eyelids fall as consciousness slips. The last thing he hears is their call, the beasts. When Naruto wakes, he's in a sewer tunnel. A strange pull draws him deeper and he follows, each step splashing through foul water. The passage opens into a cavernous chamber. 2 silhouettes stand in its center. The first is a striking woman, long black hair and animal-like ears atop her head. Naruto has never seen anyone so beautiful. She is tall, bronze-skinned, wearing a rough skirt and a crude top of hide, a necklace of tiny bones at her throat. Her eyes are sharp and red, her hands and feet end in claws. Opposite her is a hulking figure, more monster than man, seated upon a throne of fused bones. A wild mane frames his face. His massive frame is draped in fur and relics of slain beasts. Clawed extremities and predatory yellow eyes give him a terrible presence. He speaks first. "Is this the host, Kurumi?" His voice booms, low and authoritative. She inclines her head. "Yes, my lord." He contains it. "The humans call this child a Jinchuriki, yes?" he asks. "Yes," Kurumi answers. The male rises, an intimidating, towering presence. Naruto trembles, these strangers are no friends. The beast man looms, surveying him like a lion studying an insect. "I don't have long," he says, "and I'd rather not be here." Naruto flinches at the coldness in his tone. "I was slain by that blasted shadow monarch. My essence escaped briefly. Kurumi, the one your people name Kyuubi no Yauko, brought me here." Naruto's stare goes wide. The woman was the fox that attacked his village. "Listen, brat, humans disgust me. You reek and you are stupid. I could devour you and disappear." He inhales sharply. "But as beast monarch, I must pass my mantle on. You're dying and I have little time. So, you will become the new beast monarch. Kurumi will instruct and accompany you. Do you understand?" Naruto finds himself speechless. "What? Worthless," the beast monarch grunts. He seizes Naruto's throat with an iron grip, lifting him until the boy gasps. A cruel smile splits his face. "Quiet, brat, receive my power, wretched human." He raises a claw and drives it into Naruto's belly. Naruto tries to cry out, but no sound forms. A red radiance surges from the beast. The world collapses into black and Naruto slips away. Outside Naruto's mind, the forest goes still. Terrified animals flee. A crimson lance of energy blasts skyward from where he fell. Konoha itself shudders under a weighty, oppressive force. Even the Hokage, a man who's endured 2 wars, breaks sweat beneath the pressure. The elders in the chamber turn to Hiruzen. "Hiruzen, is that?" one asks. "No, Koharu. It's different, stronger, heavier." Hiruzen replies. "Did those villagers release the Kyuubi?" Himura shouts. "You should have kept him with Jiraiya, not here among those rabid people." Koharu snaps. Hiruzen's jaw tightens. "We can't assume Naruto did this. ANBU, spread out. Search for him. Detain any civilians acting suspiciously and bring them to Ibiki." A blood-curdling roar rips through the night, so terrible it silences the forest and halts the village. Hiruzen peers toward the trees. "What in Kami's name?" He joins the hunt. Every Jounin and ANBU scoured the woods that night. Naruto was nowhere to be found. 7 years after Naruto vanished, are you certain, Weasel? The Hokage asks a masked ANBU. "Yes, Hokage-sama, if it must be done, I will be the hand." Hiruzen exhales, dread coils in his chest. Everything about the scene feels wrong. "Remove your mask, Itachi," Hiruzen commands. Itachi does so. Hiruzen studies the boy's impassive face. "What do you truly feel, Itachi? Don't hide it." Itachi's composure cracks, tears edge his eyes. "There's something off, Hokage-sama. It shouldn't come down to me slaughtering my entire clan. There has to be another path." Itachi pleads. Hiruzen sees the turmoil and nods. You've uncovered the conspirators, yes, but wiping out the clan would cripple us, invite enemies. He sifts through the list Itachi provided, the names of those plotting an overthrow. Hiruzen knows such a blow would leave the village dangerously exposed. Will you act tonight? Hiruzen asks. Itachi shakes his head. I have time. I want to learn everything before making that choice. Hiruzen agrees. This is not a decision to rush. As Hiruzen reads, he doesn't notice a squirrel by his window, nor that it moves by someone else's will. Perched on the Hokage monument, a figure crouches. Naruto, now 14, stands 5'11", lean and tightly muscled, not the hulking terror the beast Monarch once was, but lethal nonetheless. Razor claws and crushing teeth finish the picture. Beside him, Kurumi remains loyal and watchful. Naruto reads the squirrel's message, nods to Kurumi, and both vanish in a blur. He reappears by a cave beyond Konoha, its entrance veiled by genjutsu. Naruto sees through the illusion. No entrapment affects him, not even Kurumi's demonic mirages. He steps inside and finds a massive sealed gate. The barrier is keyed to specific hands. Naruto smiles. Claws flashing, he tears at the metal, rending the structure as if it were paper. The noise alarms those within. Root operatives rush out to intercept him. Naruto's grin grows dark. The Root strike as one, blades drawn, only to have their steel glance uselessly off his skin. He moves, snatching two operatives by their faces and crushing skulls in his bare hands, then flinging their bodies against the walls in a wet, sickening thunk. Another attacker thrusts. Naruto catches the blade without looking and snaps it like twig. He seizes the ninja by the throat, rips away the mask, and with a hungry smile bares rows of serrated teeth. He clamps down on the man's face. Muffled shrieks and splatters follow. Naruto tears the flesh away, chews and swallows. The body convulses and goes still. Root, known for stoicism, now trembles with the raw terror Naruto has restored to them. Deep in the compound, Danzo hears the massacre and feels panic coil. He rounds a corridor and freezes as Naruto looms before him. The once feared Root agents lie shredded. Danzo opens his mouth to speak. Who are? Naruto interrupts, yanking Danzo by the face and hoisting him off the ground in a blur. I know your secrets, weak one. He rips Danzo's right arm free, exposing the grafted Sharingan-studded appendage. He slams Danzo's head against stone and rips another eye free, tossing it aside. You schemed to have the old man hand me over. You tried to kill him. You pretend to protect the village from the shadows, but you've only harmed it. Naruto's laugh is cold. You disgust me. Danzo barely gets a word out before Naruto rends his face and drops the corpse to the floor. He rifles through Danzo's hidden records and finds truths that only deepen his contempt. At the caves, Mouth Naruto shatters the genjutsu mask and flares his presence, a signal to Hiruzen and the ANBU. Then he melts away before they can reach him. The Hokage arrived with Itachi and several ANBU operatives, holding onto a glimmer of hope that they had finally located Naruto. Instead of finding the boy, they discovered the entrance to a hidden cavern. Hiruzen gestured for his team to follow as they descended inside. Before them stood a massive steel door, torn open as if by an enormous beast. A chill ran down Hiruzen's spine. He recognized this place immediately. This must be the hidden entrance to Danzo's Root facility. They stepped in cautiously, and what they saw made even the seasoned Hokage, a man who had endured 2 great wars, feel nauseated. The stench of death hung thick in the air. Hiruzen instinctively covered his nose and mouth. The walls and floors were drenched in blood. Dismembered bodies lay scattered, some torn apart, others missing limbs or faces, the remains of shinobi shredded by claw marks and fire scorches. Chunks of flesh, torn organs, and burn marks painted a gruesome picture of chaos. Even the hardened ANBU grimaced at the sight. Hokage-sama, Itachi said quietly, eyes narrowing as he scanned the destruction. These men look like they were mauled by wild creatures. Hiruzen gave a grim nod. The sheer savagery of the scene unsettled even someone like Itachi. They moved deeper into the base until the group stopped abruptly. There lay the decapitated body of Danzo Shimura, his head rolled aside, and his infamous arm of Sharingan eyes severed. The Mangekyo Sharingan eye had fallen from its socket, staring lifelessly at the ceiling. Itachi clenched his fists, his Sharingan flickering with fury. "Steady yourself, Itachi," Hiruzen ordered calmly. "We must examine everything here." The ANBU began searching through the surviving documents, uncovering what was left intact. What they found enraged Hiruzen to his core: evidence detailing Danzo's involvement in the destruction of Uzushiagakure, dealings with Hanzo of the Salamander, and secret cooperation with Orochimaru. Every document screamed treason. Danzo's actions had jeopardized the very village he claimed to protect. The worst revelation came from Itachi's findings, proof that Danzo had manipulated the Uchiha clan into planning a coup. The old war hawk had intended to betray the clan in the chaos of their downfall and harvest their eyes for himself. Itachi's hands trembled as he realized that his mission to slaughter his family had been orchestrated entirely by Danzo, who had planned to leave Sasuke alive to serve his own ends. "Itachi," Hiruzen said softly, "we have all the evidence we need. I'll summon Fugaku and the Uchiha elders. If possible, I intend to repair the relationship between their clan and the village. Danzo deceived us all, and I won't let his corruption destroy what remains." Itachi silently nodded, still seething inside but willing to follow. He hesitated for a moment before asking, "Hokage-sama, this level of destruction, who could have done this? And how did they slip away unnoticed?" The question echoed in Hiruzen's thoughts. Whoever had massacred Root had done so effortlessly, overpowering dozens of elite ANBU and killing Danzo without being detected. That level of strength was terrifying, even surpassing Hiruzen's own capabilities. "I don't know, Itachi," he admitted gravely, "but whoever did this rid us of a dangerous threat festering within our walls. Let's pray they never turn that power against Konoha. If they do, not even the gods could save us." Days later, Hiruzen met with Fugaku Uchiha, the man who had been preparing for rebellion. Presenting the retrieved evidence, he laid everything bare: Danzo's manipulation, his theft of Uchiha eyes, and his plan to frame the entire clan. Hiruzen clarified that he had never sought to suppress the Uchiha's strength or influence and allowed them to relocate freely if they wished. Realizing the truth, Fugaku acknowledged how Danzo's deceit had nearly destroyed his clan. The two men came to an understanding, peace was restored, and Fugaku personally explained the situation to his people, avoiding a tragedy that would have engulfed all of Konoha in civil war. Itachi, deeply relieved, silently thanked whoever had intervened. He began to reconnect with his parents, training alongside his younger brother and spending precious time with his family. He vowed that if he ever discovered the person who had prevented the massacre, he would express his gratitude in any way he could. 2 years later, within the dark expanse of the Forest of Death, a territory even elite Jonin feared to tread, only one person visited regularly: Mitarashi Anko. To her, this wild domain had become a place of solitude. Once Orochimaru's disciple, she was abandoned and branded with his cursed mark, now an outcast hated by many who didn't understand her. The forest was her refuge from their stares. When Anko learned about Naruto's suffering and the hatred he endured, it only deepened her resentment toward the villagers. When word spread that civilians had driven Naruto into this very forest, the tension within the village nearly erupted into chaos. Since then, Anko had distanced herself further from everyone. Perched on a thick branch, she decided to rest, letting the eerie stillness comfort her. The forest was dangerous to most, but to Anko it was home. That peace was shattered when she felt a heavy presence. From the shadows, a massive white tiger emerged, its golden eyes locked on her. Smirking, she drew a blade from a sealing mark on her wrist. "Let's dance," she whispered. The beast lunged. Anko moved with agility, countering with swift slashes. Her poisoned blade tore through its flesh, forcing it to stagger. Just as she prepared to strike again, a blur from her side, another tiger, crashed into her, biting down on her forearm. She screamed as bone cracked under its jaws, blood spraying as she stabbed it in retaliation. Panting and bleeding, she turned to see not one but 3 more tigers closing in. "Impossible," she thought in horror. "Tigers don't hunt in packs?" Her heart pounded. She couldn't run, not in this state. Surrounded, she braced herself, accepting that this might be her end. As one of the tigers lunged, a crimson blur appeared, colliding with the beast midair and sending it hurtling into a tree. Another figure, a woman with flowing black hair, leapt forward, tearing into a tiger with feral precision. Anko opened her eyes, shocked to witness the brutal spectacle before her. The red-haired figure pinned a tiger beneath him and, with terrifying ease, ripped its head clean off. When he turned toward her, Anko froze. The man was unlike anyone she had ever seen, tall, powerful, and almost divine in appearance. His crimson hair flowed wildly. His golden slit-pupiled eyes gleamed with danger, and his tanned body radiated raw strength. He wore the pelt of a white tiger across his back, the beast's head resting over his shoulder like armor. A belt made of bones held a boarskin wrap around his waist, while his wrists and ankles were adorned with fur and bone from other beasts. The woman beside him crouched low, ready for the remaining tigers. They moved as one, both predators and protectors. When the final two beasts attacked, they struck simultaneously. The woman snapped her prey's spine with her jaws, while the man crushed his opponent's skull against the earth, leaving a crater behind. Once the fight ended, the two shared a nod of silent understanding. The man then turned to Anko, who was pale and trembling, her cursed mark pulsating. He studied her with curiosity and concern. "My name is Naruto," he said, his voice deep and resonant. "That mark on your shoulder, it's eating away at your life. I can remove it, but it comes with a price. Do you accept?" Anko's eyes widened, and she nodded without hesitation. Naruto's lips curved into a smirk. He leaned forward, opening his mouth to reveal sharp, predatory teeth before biting into the mark. Agonizing pain coursed through her as she screamed, then blacked out. Releasing her, Naruto glanced at his companion. "Looks like we've found our first ally, Kurumi, and a lovely one at that." Kurumi rested her head on his shoulder, purring softly as Naruto's hand slid down to her hip. "Now," he said, eyes gleaming with anticipation, "we wait." When Anko finally regains consciousness, her senses overwhelm her. Every sound feels amplified, every scent sharper, and every color blindingly vivid. Her tongue feels like sandpaper as she moves it around her mouth, only to realize her teeth have become pointed, predatory. Confused, she scans her surroundings and spots Naruto and the other woman sitting on a nearby rock. The woman rests her head against his chest, while Naruto lazily runs clawed fingers through her hair. When he notices Anko stirring, he grins. "How are you enjoying your new blessings?" he asks, his tone dripping with power and command. The sound alone sends a shiver down Anko's spine as her instincts whisper alpha. She steels herself and approaches him cautiously. "What did you do to me?" she demands. Naruto's grin widens. "I saved your life and remade you. You're far stronger now, but in exchange you're bound to me." Anko's eyes flash. "What do you mean by that?" "It's simple," he replies. "You're my mate now. You carry a sliver of my strength, but not enough to challenge my dominance. Oh, and that cursed seal on your shoulder? Gone. It was trying to consume you when I intervened." Startled, Anko runs her fingers over the spot. The old, burning mark is gone, replaced by something cooler and unfamiliar. "Then what's this new mark?" "My mate mark," Naruto answers smoothly. Understanding flickers in Anko's eyes. She steps forward, grabs his face, and kisses him fiercely before pulling away with a smirk. "Thank you, handsome. I'm Anko, by the way. You saved me twice, once from death and again from that cursed mark. If being your mate is the price, I'll gladly pay it." She settles herself on his lap, resting against him. Kurumi smiles faintly at the sight, though her eyes harden with quiet possessiveness. A challenge Anko subtly returns. Naruto chuckles. Now, ladies, no need to fight over me. There's enough of me for both of you. But I must admit, Anko-chan, you're handling all this surprisingly well." Anko lets out a bitter laugh. "Kindness isn't something I'm used to. I'm one of the village outcasts. If word spread that the snake whore died in the forest of death, they'd throw a party. You get it, right, Naruto-kun? You're the other ghost of this forest. What happened to you that night?" Naruto's expression hardens as he begins recounting his transformation into the beast Monarch. The night the villagers left him to die, his survival, his years of training, and how he's been quietly observing Konoha's slow decay. He tells her of the growing rift between the civilians and the shinobi clans, and how the Hokage's decision to dissolve the corrupt civilian council worsened the divide. Through his connection with the creatures of the forest, Naruto learned much. That many shinobi families had always supported him, even trying to adopt him before being blocked by corrupt officials. He mentions one particular memory, the night an Uchiha woman saved his life. At 5 years old, he'd stumbled near the Uchiha compound, chased by a bloodthirsty mob. The one who saved him was a beautiful woman with raven hair and kind black eyes, Uchiha Makoto. She had taken him in, tended to his wounds, fed him, and sent him away with food for later. It was because of her kindness that Naruto vowed to protect the Uchiha and why he saved them years later. When his story ends, Anko looks up at him. "So what now, Naruto-kun?" he smirks. "Now. I'm going back to that wretched village. I'll protect the ones who showed me compassion and destroy the rest. Then, I'll rebuild what once belonged to my clan and create a new Uzumaki empire." Anko smiles softly. "Then I'm coming with you. Wherever you go, I'll follow." Naruto kisses her forehead in response. After a moment, Anko frowns slightly. "Naruto-kun, how did you even find out all this?" Naruto chuckles. "I talked to the creatures of the wild. I'm the beast monarch after all. Animals make perfect spies. No one suspects the birds or rats of watching them." Anko laughs lightly and kisses his cheek before they rise to head toward Konoha. But before they go far, she glances at his tattered clothes. Naruto-kun, you might want to change. Walking into the village like that will turn heads." He pauses, then nods. "Good point, Anko-chan. Any ideas where I can get something better?" Anko volunteers to fetch clothes while Naruto and Kurumi wait. When she returns, Kurumi is soon dressed in a black kunoichi outfit, a sleeveless crop top and tight shorts that show off her toned form. Naruto reluctantly dresses in black ANBU-style pants and a matching trench coat, his wild hair untamed. Despite his protest, the look suits him perfectly. He keeps his necklace, refusing to part with it. Once ready, the three of them make their way toward the Hokage Tower. As they move through the streets, heads turn. Naruto's tall, powerful frame, tanned skin, and fiery red hair make him impossible to ignore. Women can't look away, and men glare in envy. Kurumi, having hidden her fox traits, draws equal attention with her beauty and grace, while Anko endures the usual judgmental glares. The trio ignores them all and enters the Hokage Tower. At the reception desk, the clerk blushes at Naruto's presence but scowls at Anko as they request to see the Hokage. Soon, they're waved through. Naruto knocks, and at the muffled "enter," he steps inside with Kurumi and Anko in tow. The Hokage looks up, his eyes widening at the overwhelming aura the red-haired man carries. "Old man," Naruto greets bluntly, "we need to talk." Hiruzen's brows narrow. "You're strong, I can tell. But mind your tone, I am the Hokage of this village, and I will not." His words die as a wave of killing intent floods the room. Hiruzen freezes, flashes of death filling his vision. Even the ANBU above struggle to breathe. "Calm down, old man," Naruto warns. "I'm not here to fight. But don't talk down to me again. Understood?" Hiruzen nods shakily. Naruto withdraws his aura, glancing up at the ceiling. "And if any of you insects decide to strike, I'll redecorate this office with your guts." The ANBU tense and then freeze, realizing he means it. Anko steps in. "Everyone just relax, all right? No one's dying today. He's not your enemy, he's just a little wild." "I prefer beast, Anko-chan," Naruto corrects with a smirk. "Semantics, babe," she teases, winking. Hiruzen looks bewildered. "You know this man, Anko?" Anko grins and wraps her arm around Naruto's. "Know him, I love him." That shocks the Hokage, the same Anko who despised men now clinging to one. Hiruzen sighs, his expression softening. "Very well, at least tell me your name." Naruto smirks. "Uzumaki Naruto." Hiruzen's eyes widen. He rushes forward, his hands trembling as he reaches for Naruto's shoulder. "It's really you, Naruto." Naruto nods, and Hiruzen's eyes fill with tears. "I failed you, Naruto. I should have protected you, should have made Jiraiya take you away. I blamed myself for your death every day." Naruto's expression softens. "Don't blame yourself, old man. You and the Shinobi clans tried. I know who truly cared for me, and I know who didn't. My anger is for the civilians who let their hatred rule them." The Hokage nods solemnly, guilt in his eyes. Naruto then explains his rebirth as the Beast Monarch, the night the mob left him for dead, his merging with the power of the wild, and how Kurumi was freed from his body, but later regained her strength. He omits his ability to control animals, but tells Hiruzen he's returned to rejoin the village as a shinobi. A clear lie the old man chooses not to confront. Both understand the silent game being played, neither harboring ill intent, but both keenly aware of the power Naruto now holds. Hiruzen pressed a scroll into Naruto's hands and instructed him to go to the academy and deliver it to the Chunin instructor, Uruka. "He'll get you registered," the old man said. Naruto nodded and started to leave, but Hiruzen called him back. "Naruto," his voice made Naruto turn. "I can't begin to make up for what you've had to endure. If you ever need anything, my door is open, to you and your companions." Hiruzen then produced a small sealed envelope and 2 keys from beneath the 4th Hokage's portrait. The envelope contained the deed to Naruto's inheritance. The keys were for the Uzumaki and Namikaze properties. "These are yours, don't let the townsfolk's gossip hold you back." Naruto accepted them with a grateful smile. The man might be bumbling at times, Naruto thought, but his heart was true. Outside the Hokage's tower as they walked, Anko asked him bluntly, "Why stay and fight for this village, Naruto-kun? Wouldn't it be simpler to raise it and leave?" Naruto laughed low. "We could, but that'd mean killing everyone here. There are still people I care about. You have friends too, right?" Anko's expression softened as she pictured Yuhei Kurenai, Yuzuki Yuyugo, and Inuzuka Hana, sisters in all but blood. Naruto noticed and smiled. "See, not everyone treated you like dirt." She nodded. "That's why we take it slow. We'll gather those worth saving and the rest." She finished the thought with a thin smile. "We'll rebuild Uzushiagakure first, it's a ruin now. Our clan will rise again, and this village will pay for its ignorance." She hugged Naruto's arm. Kurumi leaned into him, resting her head on his shoulder. A short way from the tower, Naruto told Anko and Kurumi to go to the Uzumaki compound and make themselves at home. He'd check out the academy. He kissed both of them and went toward the Konoha Shinobi Academy. When he entered the classroom, all eyes turned to him. Standing 64, broad-shouldered, sun-kissed like many of Konoha's own, and with a wild red mane cascading down his back, Naruto cut an imposing figure that made the boys uneasy and the girls interested. In the back, he noticed a dark-haired boy with feathered hair. It tugged at a memory. Mikoto had told him about her sons. This boy might be the youngest she'd mentioned. His chakra hinted at a familiar lineage. Naruto handed the scroll to Uruka. The instructor read it, nodded, and welcomed him to the class. Naruto suspected most of these children didn't know him. Parents had hidden his existence, and Uruka might only have heard ugly names. He didn't blame them. He sat beside a pale violet-eyed girl and felt the simmering hostility of someone behind him. The scent and posture told him the boy was from the Inuzuka family, Kiba. He guessed, quick to temper and loud. Kiba's voice snapped. "Hey, why'd you take the seat by my girl, huh?" The girl flinched. Naruto glanced at her and smiled. "My name's Naruto, what's yours?" he asked. "Hi, Hinata. Nice to meet you, Naruto-kun." She stammered, cheeks reddening. "Is that mutt behind you your boyfriend?" Naruto teased. Kiba bristled and lunged. Naruto didn't hesitate. With a swift cast of telekinetic force, he sent Kiba slamming into the back wall, where he stuck and left a crater. The classroom went silent. Even Uruka looked stunned. Naruto walked calmly over while Kiba flailed, held by the invisible grip. He loomed over him, radiating a chill menace that made Kiba tremble. "Listen up," Naruto said, his voice cold. "I don't play. I'll tear your head off if I have to. But you're ignorant, so I'll give you one warning. Don't provoke me. You're not the alpha, I am. Cross me and you die." He released Kiba, who collapsed to the floor and then strode from the room. The students watched him return to his seat. Uruka, remembering the paperwork, simply resumed the lesson. Hinata stole a glance at Naruto and blushed. Thank you, Naruto." "I didn't do it for you," Naruto cut in. He was annoying. If he keeps pestering you, you need to stand up for yourself. Learn to defend what's yours or he'll keep testing you. Don't let yourself be taken advantage of. His bluntness shocked her, but something shifted inside Hinata, a quiet resolve replacing timidity. Naruto allowed himself a pleased smirk. Bored out of his mind by the academy's lessons, Naruto left early and made his way to the Uzumaki compound to inspect his new home. The place astonished him. A sprawling 2-story residence that stretched wide, easily 12,000 square feet by his estimate. A landscaped garden with its own training yard, a private waterfall and lake, and dense trees beyond. It felt like a true sanctuary. His 2 mates lounged on a sofa when he arrived. Naruto grinned, baring his fangs playfully. You two waiting on me, he teased. Kurumi and Enko got up and kissed him eagerly, their hands roaming his muscular frame. Naruto lifted them both and suggested, "Let's christen the place." They ascended to the upper rooms and spent the evening in passionate intimacy. After hours, a knock interrupted them. At the door stood an ANBU in a cat mask with purple hair. She took a startled step back when she saw Naruto, then stammered, "The Hawkage requests your presence." She couldn't keep her eyes on him. Naruto grinned and teased, then she snapped, "Put some clothes on," and vanished in a flash. He dressed quickly, kissed his lovers, promised to return, and opened a claw-shaped gate in the bedroom. Stepping through it, he appeared before the Hawkage's desk, startling Hiruzen and setting the ANBU guards on alert until their leader shouted them down. "You're required at a council meeting," Hiruzen said, guiding him toward the chamber. When Naruto entered, whispers rippled through the room. He noticed Mikoto in the Uchiha seat and offered her a warm smile. She blushed. Inuzu Katsum returned his gaze with a feral grin, which made Naruto's amusement deepen. He surveyed the council and caught sight of several hostile faces. "You disbanded the civilian council, didn't you?" Naruto asked. Hiruzen answered, "I did, but I've reformed it to ease civilian unrest. I hope to avoid civil war." "And what's this about?" Naruto asked. Hiruzen stood and declared the meeting open. A civilian councilman demanded the purpose. "I called this meeting to announce the return of an important figure to our village and the restoration of a powerful lineage lost to time," Hiruzen announced. Shikaku motioned to Naruto and asked, "Who is he, Hokage-sama?" "This is Uzumaki Naruto. After being left in the Forest of Death for 9 years, he has returned to claim his birthright." The Shinobi Council murmured approval, but the Civilian Council erupted in outrage. "Impossible, that demon is dead. Execute him now." The Shinobi members glared at the civilians' outburst, and Hiruzen sighed, bracing himself for the storm that was coming. Naruto vanished from Hiruzen's side and reappeared behind a council member in an instant. Before anyone could react, his hand pierced straight through the man's chest. Without hesitation, Naruto grabbed the man's head and ripped it clean off. In a blur, he appeared beside the next counselor, seizing him by the throat and hoisting him into the air. His mouth opened, revealing rows of razor-sharp fangs, and he let out a bone-chilling roar before biting down, tearing half the man's face away. The body dropped to the table with a dull thud, twitching for a moment before going still. Naruto chewed lazily, then spat out what he didn't want, wiping his mouth with the back of his hand as he calmly walked back to Hiruzen's side. The old Hokage handed him a cloth to clean up. Tsume grinned wickedly, amused by the display. "Damn, that was hot. If anyone else here feels bold enough to disrespect me, go ahead," Naruto said coldly. "Just remember you'll die the same way." Silence filled the room. The civilian council sat frozen, while smirks spread among the shinobi representatives. Naruto turned to them next. "It's good to see all of you again. Many of you tried to help me during my time here. Some even wanted to take me in, but the civilian side stopped it. Their ignorance made my life miserable. As much as I'd love to slaughter every last one of them, I'll refrain, unless they give me a reason." His piercing glare made several of the civilians flinch. One of them gathered the courage, or stupidity, to speak. But he's the demon fox reborn. We have to," she didn't finish. The same ANBU from earlier flashed behind her and sliced her head clean off. The Hokage's voice rang through the chamber. "That's enough. I will not allow anyone to insult or threaten Naruto again. Anyone who dares call for his death will share her fate." The terrified civilians swallowed hard, while the shinobi side chuckled quietly. Turning his gaze back to the shinobi half, Hiruzen continued, "Next matter, Naruto will be receiving his inheritance. As the son of Uzumaki Kushina and the fourth Hokage, Namikaze Minato, he shall claim both clan seats." A civilian leapt up. "Lies, how dare you taint the name of our beloved fourth?" Before he could finish, 2 sharp claws burst through his chest, lifting him off the ground. Naruto smirked and tore him apart down the middle with his bare hands. Screams and retching filled the room. Even the hardened shinobi looked unsettled by the brutality. Inoichi finally spoke up. "Lord Hokage, may I ask, what exactly has Naruto been doing all these years? He's clearly far stronger than any genin I've seen. Has he already been promoted?" Hiruzen shook his head. "No, Naruto remains a genin. He requested to start at that level to experience life with others his age. He lost that chance because of certain fools who couldn't tell the difference between the boy and the beast sealed inside him. The Shinobi Council glared daggers at the civilians. Their patience with the non-Shinobi side had been thinning for years. They'd seen this same prejudice before, first with Mitarashi Anko, and then again with Naruto. The clans had always respected the burden a Jinchuriki bore, while the civilians only deepened his suffering. Danzo had even used their hatred to further his own agenda, hoping to turn Naruto into his weapon. The divide between shinobi and civilians widened daily, something Naruto could feel with ease. As for your other question, Hiruzen added, I think it's best if Naruto explains that himself. Naruto nodded and stepped forward. For the past 9 years, I've lived inside the Forest of Death. Ironically, it was safer than the village. A dark chuckle escaped him. I learned how to hunt, fight, survive, and adapt. My senses are sharper than any Ninken's, my body's stronger, faster, and tougher than most humans. I heal quickly, and I've even developed traits like claws, fangs, and the ability to talk to animals. That last part made Tsume perk up immediately. You can talk to all animals, she exclaimed. Naruto nodded casually. Shikaku adjusted his posture. Interesting, would these abilities be hereditary? Hiruzen replied before Naruto could. Yes, we've already tested it. Naruto narrowed his eyes slightly. There had been no such test, but he understood the old man's intent and didn't argue. Shikaku nodded. Then I suggest Naruto be added to the CRA. If his traits are blood-based, they're valuable assets for the village. The Nara clan offers full support to him and his kin. The Hyuga clan as well. The Uchiha clan too. The Yamanaka clan stands with him. The Akimichi clan supports him. The Inuzuka clan supports him. The Sarutobi clan also stands with Naruto and his clan, the Hokage finished. Naruto's gaze swept over the supportive faces. He smirked, pleased. Then I thank you all. The Uzumaki Namikaze clan will return that loyalty tenfold. The clan heads smiled in return, truly glad to see him back. Hiruzen clapped his hands. That concludes today's meeting. Dismissed. ANBU, clean up the remains. 4 months later, Naruto had been irritated for weeks. The Hokage thought he'd be pleased by manipulating the academy results to make him Rookie of the Year. Naruto found it insulting. He hadn't even attended properly, yet somehow received perfect marks. It made his skin crawl, so, without lifting a finger, he became a genin. Wonderful. Well, sort of. If not for that tampering, he would have earned it on his own terms. He sighed, knowing the old man meant well but still hated the idea. At least a few things went his way. Kiba finally stopped challenging him, and when Kiba had tried to tease Hinata a month ago, the once shy girl beat him senseless. That had genuinely surprised Naruto. She'd grown stronger and more confident. He liked that. He smirked to himself. Hinata was cute, no doubt, Ino too. But Naruto preferred mature women like Mikoto or even Tsume. Still, he wasn't against giving the younger ones a chance. The classroom door opened as Uruka walked in. His voice brought Naruto back to the present. Congratulations, everyone, you're officially genin now. Time for team assignments. Team 1, Team 7 will be Hyuga Hinata, Uchiha Sasuke, and Uzumaki Naruto. Team 8, Haruno Sakura, Inuzuka Kiba, and Aburame Shino. Team 10, Yamanaka Ino, Akimichi Choji, and Nara Shikamaru. Good luck to all of you. Then he exited. Naruto turned toward his teammates with a grin. Well, since we're stuck together, why not get to know each other? Hinata nodded shyly. Ayano, I'm not sure how good I'll be as a Kunoichi, but I'll do my best. You've always inspired me, Naruto-kun. I don't like hurting people, but I'll try to hold my own. I enjoy flowers and tea ceremonies. Naruto smiled warmly. For all his savagery, he could recognize a pure heart when he saw one. Hinata was a good woman. He glanced at Sasuke next. Your turn, Uchiha, Sasuke shrugged. I like training and spending time with my family. My dream is to surpass my brother and have a family of my own someday. Naruto's smile softened. He couldn't help but think how different Sasuke's fate could have been if things had gone wrong years ago. Then Naruto chuckled. Guess it's my turn. I love nature, animals, and a good fight. I'm always seeking stronger opponents. I also enjoy being with my lovers and hope to have a big family someday. My ultimate goal is to rebuild my clan's home and settle some old debts. Hinata blinked. Why you have lovers and Naruto-kun? He smirked. I do, but I always have room for more, he teased with a wink, making her turn scarlet. Both of them are strong and beautiful. That's the kind of woman I admire, one who makes men bow to her. Hinata pondered that, while Sasuke gave a small nod of understanding. Just then, the classroom door slid open. A tall man with silver hair, one eye covered by a forehead protector, appeared. Team 7, meet me on the roof, he said casually before vanishing in a flicker. Naruto smirked as his teammates headed for the door. This should be fun, he murmured, following after them. Sasuke finally spoke. You coming, Naruto? Naruto smirked and turned around. With a casual swipe of his clawed hand, the air split open into a shimmering rift. Without hesitation, he stepped through it, and the portal sealed behind him, leaving the Genin and Jonin standing there in complete shock. On the other side, Naruto emerged to find a silver-haired man staring at him with wide eyes. So this is the one Hokage-sama wanted me to pick up early, the man thought. He said I'd witness something interesting. Guess he wasn't kidding. That's quite the ability you've got there, Naruto, the Jonin commented. Naruto grinned. Guess that makes me a pretty interesting guy, huh, grayhead? The man raised a brow. It's silver, actually. Naruto snorted. Sure, whatever helps you sleep at night. A moment later, the door opened and in walked Hinata and Sasuke. Naruto, what kind of power was that? Sasuke asked, wide-eyed. Naruto shrugged. Just a beast thing. Kakashi's visible eye narrowed. We weren't briefed on any beast abilities. Looks like I'll have to figure out what's really going on with him myself. He clapped his hands twice to get everyone's attention. All right, now that everyone's here, introductions are in order. I'll go first. My name's Hadake Kakashi. I enjoy reading quality literature. I despise traitors and people who abandon their comrades. My hobby's reading, and my dream, probably leading a team that doesn't repeat my past mistakes. Sasuke and Hinata exchanged glances, trying to decode his words, while Naruto looked completely indifferent. You're up first, Hyuga, Kakashi said. Hinata took a step forward, her voice calm but steady. I'm Hyuga Hinata. I like cinnamon buns, flowers, books, and my family. I dislike people who judge without understanding others. My hobbies include reading, pressing flowers, and training. My dream is to unite the Hyuga branch and main families, and one day, build a happy family of my own with the man I love. Kakashi nodded. Nicely said. Uchiha, you're next. Hinata stepped back as Sasuke took her place. My name is Uchiha Sasuke. I care about my family and my village. I despise those who betray others for selfish gain. My hobbies are training, reading, and spending time with loved ones. My dream is to raise a family and help my brother lead the Uchiha clan. All three, Kakashi, Hinata, and Naruto, smiled faintly at his sincerity. That's a strong goal, Sasuke, Kakashi said approvingly. I'm sure you'll make your clan proud. Now for our last member. Naruto smirked. Guess that's me. Name's Uzumaki Naruto. I like fighting and spending time with my lovers. I hate the people who tried to kill me over something I couldn't control. My hobbies, same as my likes, and my dream to rebuild my clan's home from the ground up. Kakashi's single eye narrowed thoughtfully. Rebuild his family's home. What's he talking about? He cleared his throat. Good introductions from all of you. Now on to the next matter. You're not officially Genin yet. None of them seemed surprised. Sasuke and Hinata likely know the system from their clans, Kakashi mused. But Naruto, raised in the Forest of Death, how does he already know about the second test? You'll have one more exam before being placed as a team, Kakashi continued. And just so you know, only 1 in 3 teams pass. Meet me at Training Ground 7 tomorrow at 9. Don't be late and don't eat breakfast. You'll just throw up. With that, he vanished in a blur. As the group dispersed, Naruto called out, Ignore what he said. Eat well tomorrow, you'll need it. Sasuke frowned. But he told us not to, Naruto chuckled. You're shinobi, right? Who goes into a mission hungry? It's a trick, don't fall for it. Then, with another swipe of his claw, a glowing gate opened. Naruto stepped through it, leaving the others to wonder if he was serious. The next morning, Sasuke and Hinata waited at Training Ground 7. Suddenly, a swirling portal formed before them, and Naruto emerged with a grin sharp enough to show his fangs. Looks like you took my advice. Good, both nodded. A puff of smoke marked Kakashi's arrival on the opposite end, holding 2 bento boxes. The delicious aroma filled the air, but the trio didn't react. Kakashi's eye narrowed. "So you all ignored my order not to eat," he said firmly. Naruto smirked. "Tell me, One-Eye, what kind of ninja skips breakfast? That's just dumb." Kakashi sighed. "Your task is simple. Take these 2 bells from me. You each need one to pass. You have 3 hours." He pointed to the bells on his hip. Sasuke frowned. "Wait, there are only 2. "Exactly," Kakashi said with a chuckle. "Whoever doesn't get one goes back to the academy." Hinata gasped while Sasuke clenched his fists. "It's 9 o'clock. Come at me intending to kill. You have 3 hours. Begin." Sasuke and Hinata vanished into the trees. Naruto stayed put, smiling at Kakashi. "Not hiding?" Kakashi asked, uneasy. "Or are you just foolish enough to charge me head-on?" Naruto stretched his neck and flexed his claws. "Intent to kill, huh? Nah. I won't go that far, One-Eye." Kakashi's brow furrowed. "And why's that?" Naruto's grin darkened. "Because if I did, you wouldn't survive." He disappeared in a flash. The ground exploded where Kakashi had stood moments before. "That strength, it's like Tsunade-sama's punches," he thought, pulling up his headband to reveal the Sharingan. Sasuke's eyes widened. He has a Sharingan. Was it stolen? He activated his own, a fully matured one, to watch the clash. "Oh, the Sharingan, huh?" Naruto said, pulling his hand from the crater. "Mind telling me how you got it?" Kakashi replied evenly. "It was a gift from a dying friend during the Third Shinobi War. I fight with it as if he's still beside me." Naruto nodded. "Then he must be proud." "Wise words coming from you," Kakashi said with a half-smile. Naruto vanished again. Kakashi barely ducked a claw strike that would have taken his head. Blow after blow followed, too fast to read. "I can't counter this speed," he thought desperately. One strike caught his guard. Pain shot through his arms as he was thrown back, skidding across the dirt. He panted, Sharingan burning through his chakra reserves. Kakashi quickly formed hand signs. "Fire style, great fireball jutsu!" A massive flame roared forward. Naruto swiped through it like slicing smoke, dispersing the jutsu entirely. "That all you got, One-Eye? Pathetic." Hidden nearby, Sasuke and Hinata were frozen in awe. "He's toying with a Jonin," Sasuke realized. Naruto's claw began glowing a menacing red. He slashed, sending energy blades flying. Kakashi dodged, but one tore through his leg, forcing him into the woods to regroup. Naruto laughed. "Running away, Kakashi? How disappointing. But remember, this is my territory." "You're the prey now," Kakashi winced as he applied weak healing ninjutsu. "Damn, it still hurts, but I can move. Need to think of something fast." He sighed inwardly. Planning strategy against a genin, how did it come to this? Meanwhile, Naruto was thrilled. "A new kind of hunt," he muttered. Sasuke and Hinata approached. "Wait, Naruto, let's plan something," Sasuke called. "Not now," Naruto replied before vanishing. Moments later, Kakashi felt the tree behind him collapse. Turning, he froze. Naruto crouched where the trunk had been. "Found you, sensei, hide-and-seek's over." Kakashi leapt away, but Naruto's energy tore through the forest. Trees crashed down, pinning Kakashi's arm beneath one. Pain flared, but he bit his tongue to stay silent. As he tried to mask his chakra and think of a way out, he heard a chilling laugh behind him. "Well, well, well, not exactly how I imagined cornering my target," Kakashi muttered, turning his head toward the source of the voice. Perched on the splintered remains of a fallen tree, Naruto crouched above him, a wild grin stretching across his face as his fangs caught the light. His crimson hair whipped in the breeze. "I'll keep this simple, sensei. Hand over the bells, let us pass, and I'll let you walk away. I might even release that arm of yours. Refuse and I'll take it myself." Kakashi glared up at him, expression hard. Naruto smirked wider. "Keep giving me that look, Kakashi, and I'll make sure you lose that face along with your pride." The older man exhaled sharply, realizing there was no winning this round. He reached down, grabbed the small bells, and tossed them toward Naruto. "Appreciate it," Naruto replied with a sly grin. He gripped the massive log trapping Kakashi's arm and with a single motion, lifted and hurled it aside like it weighed nothing. A dark chuckle escaped him. "Guess that makes us official genin, huh?" Kakashi didn't answer, still grimacing. "Tell your team to meet me at the Hawkage's office at 8 tomorrow morning," the Jonin said tiredly. Naruto gave a lazy wave, opened a shimmering gate and stepped through. When he reappeared before Sasuke and Hinata, he tossed each a bell. "Congratulations, we passed." One Eye wants us at the Hawkage's office at 8 sharp. Sasuke frowned, glancing toward Hinata. Naruto, I'm glad we made it, but shouldn't we have done this together? I'm not saying you're weak, but it feels like you didn't trust us enough to fight beside you. Naruto sighed inwardly. Good kid. Shame I'm going to end up your stepdad someday. He scratched the back of his neck. Didn't mean to leave you out. My instincts just took over, the thrill of the chase and all that. I'll make it up to both of you. Working as a team will take some time, though. I'm half beast, half man after all. Sasuke nodded. All right. I'll see you tomorrow. With a blur, he vanished in a shunshin. Naruto turned to go, but Hinata stepped forward, cheeks flushed. Naruto-kun. He paused and looked back. Would you like to eat with me? Naruto smiled warmly. Sure, Hinata-chan, how about barbecue? She brightened instantly, nodding. The two walked off the field side by side, heading toward town to celebrate their first day as genin. The Hawkage's office door burst open, slamming against the wall. Every jonin in the room turned as Kakashi stumbled in, bloodied, exhausted, and furious. What the hell, Hokage-sama? He barked. Uruka bristled at his tone. Kakashi, you may be a jonin, but you will not. Shut it, Uruka, Kakashi snapped. I deserve some answers. Why the hell is Naruto so damn powerful? The room fell silent. The Hokage leaned back, pipe between his fingers, and smiled faintly. I understand your frustration, Kakashi, he said calmly. All I can tell you is that the 9 years Naruto spent in the Forest of Death weren't wasted. He emerged stronger than anyone expected, stronger than I was in my youth. He's terrifying, and from what I've heard, he's not exactly above devouring his enemies. Gasps rippled through the room. Kakashi's eye widened in disbelief. Then why let him live? He's practically a demon. If the Kyuubi's taken over... Enough, Jonin Kakashi, the Hokage interrupted, voice sharp. You misunderstand. Naruto isn't the Kyuubi reborn. His transformation is the product of the forest, years of surviving that cursed place reshaped him. His body, mind, and chakra have all evolved. But since you clearly can't handle him, I'm removing you as Team 7's instructor. Someone more compatible will take your place. Kakashi stiffened. Hokage-sama, that's unnecessary. I can. The air grew heavy as the Hokage released a sliver of killing intent, silencing him instantly. Several jonin shuddered, though one remained perfectly composed. My decision stands, Hiruzen said coldly. Naruto humiliated you. That's not an insult, but a fact. He needs a leader who can understand him. He gestured toward the assembled jonin. They parted, revealing Uchiha Itachi. Itachi, Kakashi muttered, stunned. The young Uchiha nodded in acknowledgement. Itachi is the only shinobi in the village who can rival Naruto's strength, Hiruzen explained. You're a capable jonin, Kakashi, but if Naruto decides you've disrespected him, he won't hesitate to tear you apart. Anko smirked at the mental image, eyes glinting. I assume your team passed? The Hokage asked. Kakashi exhaled wearily. Yes, Hokage-sama, though Naruto was the one who beat me alone. One of his attacks destroyed part of the training ground. A tree fell and trapped my arm, and he threatened to rip it off unless I surrendered the bells. I don't doubt he would have done it. He turned to Itachi. He's unbelievably strong. The Hokage chuckled softly. That doesn't surprise me. If Naruto wished, he could kill me and take this hat without effort. The jonin erupted in disbelief. One of them, Asuma, stepped forward. Father, you can't be serious. He's 16, even with the 9 tails, he can't possibly. I am serious, Asuma, Hiruzen interrupted. Kakashi's defeat proves it. He's beyond S-rank potential, and even I can't gauge the full depth of his power. It's unsettling. He's fast, faster than my eyes can track, and his raw strength is monstrous. He took a long drag from his pipe. What I'm about to say stays in this room. Every jonin nodded. You all remember the night Danzo and Root were found dead. They nodded again. The official report was incomplete. What we actually found was gruesome, bodies ripped apart, claw marks everywhere, faces missing. I believe Naruto was responsible. Shock rippled through the room. Kakashi's voice trembled slightly. But Hokage-sama, Root operatives were elite ANBU, every one of them at least jonin level. Danzo himself was practically cage class. Exactly, Hiruzen replied. There were signs of a brutal fight. Root launched everything they had, but Naruto came out untouched. He hunted them down, killed Danzo before the old Warhawk could trigger his seals. We found his corpse littered with stolen Sharingan eyes, including a Mangekyo. Turns out, Danzo had his root murder Uchiha shinobi during missions and harvest their eyes. He even killed Shisui Uchiha to steal his. Naruto destroyed him effortlessly 2 years ago, likely to protect the Uchiha clan. Kakashi frowned. Protect them? Why? Hiruzen exhaled a puff of smoke. Naruto knows secrets he shouldn't. How I can't say. One of those secrets was the planned Uchiha coup. Gasps filled the office again. Kakashi's voice was sharp. Hokage-sama, what do you mean? Itachi stepped forward. The clan once intended to overthrow Konoha. Danzo fueled their anger, hoping to seize control. Their plan would have thrown the village into civil war, leaving it vulnerable. I was ordered to stop them, but if Naruto intervened, then I owe him my family's survival. Kakashi stood frozen, struggling to process it all. But why would he help them? Hiruzen's eyes softened. Because no one helped him. The boy was beaten, starved, and hated for something he never chose. The clans, especially the Uchihas, were the few who showed him kindness. Danzo prevented them from adopting him, intending to weaponize him instead. Angry mutters filled the room. A red-eyed Kunoichi snarled, "That bastard." Itachi added quietly, "My mother, Mikoto, treated him like family. Even though the Uchiha can be cold, we never turned him away." Hiruzen gave a faint, tired chuckle. Seems even the darkest hearts found light in that boy. So that's why Naruto protected the Uchihas, just because they treated him kindly? Kakashi asked, disbelief in his tone. Hiruzen nodded. You see, Naruto often compares himself to a beast. A beast never forgets hatred, it will return it in kind. But when shown compassion, it will guard those who showed it to the end. Given his nature, Naruto carries that same instinct within him. Anko smirked quietly to herself. Guess that makes sense, she murmured. Hiruzen turned to the others. Now, how did the rest of the teams perform? As expected, the first 6 teams didn't understand the real purpose of the exam. Team 8 passed, said Kurenai calmly. Sakura Haruno showed impressive insight and figured out the test's meaning almost immediately. She led her teammates effectively. Shino Aburame demonstrated strong analytical skills and adapted well under pressure. Kiba Inuzuka, however, acted recklessly, attacked me head-on. I had to discipline him with genjutsu after he refused to cooperate. Unless he changes his attitude, I may recommend removing him from the shinobi roster. Hiruzen nodded, while Tsume, sitting nearby, lowered her gaze in disappointment over her son's conduct. She sighed quietly. Team 10 passed as well, Asuma said with a proud grin. Their coordination was perfect. They're definitely the next Ino Shikacho trio. Hiruzen nodded approvingly. Kakashi, go get that arm checked out, the Hokage ordered. Kakashi simply nodded and vanished in a blur. Good work, everyone, Hiruzen continued. Missions begin tomorrow. Dismissed. As the Jonin filed out, only Itachi remained behind. You knew this would happen to Kakashi, he stated quietly. Hiruzen shook his head. I suspected it, but I wasn't sure. He looked up at Itachi. Train Hinata and Sasuke well. I trust you with them. You'll make a fine Hokage one day, Itachi, and a good leader needs a strong team. Itachi gave a respectful nod. Understood, Hokage-sama. Before leaving, Hiruzen smiled lightly. And how's your family? A rare, warm expression crossed Itachi's face. Izumi is doing well, and our son Itsui is as curious as ever. His first birthday is coming soon. I'd like you to come. I'd be honored, Hiruzen replied kindly. The Uchiha deserve this peace. As Itachi left, the old Hokage leaned back, smoke drifting from his pipe. None of them noticed the small bird perched outside the window, listening to everything. Naruto stood in an alley nearby, the bird perched on his shoulder, finishing its whispered report. I see, he muttered with a faint smile. That's good to know. After parting ways with Hinata, Naruto wandered through the bustling Konoha streets. Men glared with envy, women's eyes followed him with curiosity. He ignored them all until he caught a familiar scent. Down the street, Tsume Inuzuka walked with a thoughtful expression. Where did I go wrong with that boy? She muttered to herself. I take it you mean Kiba, came a voice from behind her. She spun around, startled, only to see Naruto grinning at her reaction. Naruto, don't sneak up on people like that, she said, cheeks warming. Naruto chuckled softly. Sorry, Tsume-chan. You looked like you were deep in thought. Her heart skipped at the warmth in his tone. "You really are something, pup," she said, shaking her head. Naruto smiled gently. "You're too hard on yourself sometimes." Tsume sighed. "You don't know the half of it. Come on, walk with me to the compound. I'll explain." They soon reached her home. Tsume offered him tea and they sat across from each other. For a moment, silence filled the room before she began to speak. "Hana and Kiba's father left us years ago," she said quietly. "Our marriage wasn't built on love. He thought strength made him better, that women should just obey. I fought back, and one day he left the village completely. I later heard he was killed." Naruto listened closely, his expression unreadable. She gave a tired smile. "That's why I don't see myself the way others do. I've made my peace with it." He shook his head. "No, Tsume-chan. You're strong, loyal, and kind. That's what matters." Her eyes softened. "You really believe that?" "I do," Naruto said with quiet conviction. "You deserve respect and someone who sees your worth." For a moment, Tsume looked away, trying to hide her blush. She didn't know what to say, but the warmth in Naruto's words lingered in her heart long after. The next morning, Naruto, with senses as sharp as a predator, was fully aware of Tsume's reaction to his presence and pressed his advantage. He stepped closer, his intense gaze locking onto hers. "Give me an answer, Tsume-chan," he said, his voice low and commanding. "You can continue living quietly, stuck in the past, or you can follow me." He emphasized his words by closing the distance between them, leaning in so that she could feel the raw strength radiating off him. Tsume's chest heaved as she met his unyielding stare, her mind a whirlwind of conflicting emotions. Finally, she whispered, almost trembling, "I'll follow you." Naruto's grin widened, sharp and confident. Without another word, he took hold of her arm and led her out of the common room, moving with a power and precision that left no room for hesitation. Tsume, though surprised, found herself going along with him, captivated by his presence. He carried her through the corridors with controlled strength, his movements deliberate and steady. When they reached her room, he set her down carefully. Tsume looked up, seeing him fully for the first time, not just the boy she knew, but a figure brimming with confidence and power. Naruto let his gaze sweep over her. "You'll need to trust me completely," he said, voice firm. "I don't accept hesitation." Tsume swallowed hard, nodding as her resolve mingled with awe. Naruto's eyes glinted. He demonstrated his abilities, moving faster than the eye could track, showing her the precision of his skills and the sheer force of his chakra. Tsume's breath caught in her throat as she realized the full extent of his power. She had never seen anyone move like this, let alone someone so close to her. The atmosphere in the room became charged, the tension thick. Naruto's demonstration continued, strategic strikes, sudden bursts of energy, control over the elements around him. Tsume could only watch, her admiration growing alongside a deep unease. Suddenly, the door creaked open. Kiba stepped in, drawn by the sounds and sensing something unusual. His eyes widened as he took in the scene. His mother standing before Naruto, the boy whose reputation rivaled her own strength. He froze, a mixture of shock and fear overtaking him. Naruto turned his gaze toward Kiba, a small smirk playing on his lips. "Ah, Kiba," he said calmly. "You came just in time to see what happens when power is unmatched." Kiba's fists clenched, but before he could move, Naruto's presence pressed down like a physical weight. Kiba felt an invisible barrier hold him in place, forcing him to watch helplessly. Tsume, though intimidated, stood her ground, recognizing that Naruto's dominance was not rooted in cruelty but in sheer capability. She met his eyes and nodded slightly, silently acknowledging that this boy, this force of nature, was something beyond her comprehension. Naruto's aura filled the room, his mastery evident in every movement. Even Kiba, though angry and frustrated, could not help but respect the overwhelming power before him. For the first time, he understood that Naruto was not a boy to underestimate. He was an unstoppable force. As Naruto exited, leaving the two in Yuzuka standing in the charged silence of the room, Kiba felt a mix of awe, fear, and determination. He knew that confronting Naruto directly would be impossible, not yet. But one thing was clear. The boy had become the true alpha, commanding not through fear or cruelty, but sheer strength and presence.